on point when I step in. Signs in the air for the gang that you're repping. Don't get brave when I'm stepping in the rave. If you show man love, everything's okay. So looking for a lively rave to have fun in. If there ain't girls in the place, we ain't coming. Middle finger up to the Jake, stepping in with the gang. Please tell the police they can't come in. Show me a salute, that's gang. Pure love for the crew, that's gang. Don't chat shit if you ain't gonna bang. Just show man a sign if you're down for the gang. Show me a salute, that's gang. Pure love for the crew, that's gang. Don't chat shit if you ain't gonna bang. Just show man a sign if you're down for the gang. We be on the grind to the morning. We be on the grind to the morning. Stacking up money in the bank. Don't chat shit if you ain't gonna bang. Just show man a sign if you're down for the gang.
Can't fuck with the gang, we don't fucking pretend. We be busting the clubs, cause you know that we can. Can't fuck with the gang, we don't fucking pretend. Still rocking the show, still feeling the flow.
Welcome back, Juventinita, to the Juventinita, back to Black and White podcast. I'm Daniel Negro, and I'm live from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Today, podcast number 27 on the roll. We have, it's going to be 4 podcasts coming out in short, brief 3 days. Obviously, there's going to be one to record next. But we have won, obviously, the 9th consecutive Scudetto. This is going to be kind of a pre-match of Juve-Cagliari, although it really, as a lot of you probably think, doesn't even matter. But we'll talk briefly about it. Obviously, the boring stuff right away. Guys, please smash the subscribe, as you guys have all been doing. Drop a like, comment. Click the bell for notifications. Going to keep you up to date when the podcast drops on YouTube. Obviously on iTunes, Spotify, same thing. If you subscribe, you're going to get it up to date in your thread. And we continue on. There's going to be a lot of podcasts coming up. Champions League is just around the corner. And again, without further ado, we have another repeat guest, and obviously someone new, but I know a lot of you are going to know who it is. Obviously part of the BianconeriYYZ club, obviously a co-founder, but again, Rocco at Catenaccio NA, welcome, and obviously Ivan, welcome as well. Obviously you guys co-founders of YYZ, my club, and it's been crazy. These past few weeks have been crazy. Like I promised you before, once we clinch, we're gonna have you on, Rocco. Obviously, I wanted to mix it up, add another. Obviously, you can't see him on the screen, but he's there, right, Ivan?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, everyone.
So, obviously, you guys from Toronto, from the 6, Toronto, Canada. Obviously, we kind of found out how, again, a gist of how Rocco became a Juve fan. Ivan, let's hear your kind of quick and fast.
So quickly, I want to say that I'm in Ottawa. So I'm in Ottawa.
Oh, okay. Well,
I moved from Toronto to Ottawa, but originally from Toronto, but in Ottawa now. And for those of you out there in the World Wide Web of things, just to let you know that I've been a Juve fan for many moons. So I'm an old guy. I watched Juve live in at the CNE Grandstand in Toronto in 1984. So that should tell you how old I am. So I'm definitely long in the tooth. Been through a lot of suffering with Juve during those 9 years gap of championships, but was able to experience these last 9 years as well. So it's been a long time, and black and white through and through.
Awesome. No, and guys, the reason why you would have seen me do the sign of the cross is because, unfortunately, there's a prime minister that's also located in Ottawa. So hopefully you're okay over there. But anyways, let's get straight into it. Obviously, we've won our 9th consecutive, 38th. Yes, get the number right, 38. And the only a player that's really the only guy who's been a part of this whole journey, Giorgio Chiellini, and I kind of missed that in my Scudetto special, which I'm kind of embarrassed about, but let's bring it up right away. What an incredible journey for him. Obviously, it's been kind of a mixed bag season for him. Hopefully, we're going to get some use out of him in this Champions League season. Hopefully, he can get into form. I know it's taking a little bit longer now, but just your thoughts, guys, on Chiellini and 9 Scudetti. Whoever wants to take that first.
I think Ivan's been doing too much talking, so I'll say the first. I'll go
There we
on that
go.
first. As Chiellini 9 scudetti in a row. I mean, geez, like if you're talking, if a captain was ever around who deserved to have them all. I mean, talk about hitting us right exactly when it counts the most. You know, we after a bit of a spell back and forth with Fiorentina and Livorno. He came back after the Serie B. He came into through Serie B and joined our team, and it was just history. The rest is history. And of course he hit it. He hit the sweet spot, made that formidable and historic, formed that formidable and historic trio with Barzagli and Bonucci. And that was the rock that gave us what 5-6 scudetti out of the 9. So, fantastic captain. I've had the pleasure of meeting him. Just the most humble guy. Both times I met him, it's as if you felt as if he was he was humble to meet you. Like you almost felt like you were the fan. He was the fan. You were the celebrity. And very extremely intelligent individual. And you see it on the field and off the field. And he's so intelligent. He was smart enough to know how to sell his book by throwing shade on a few players. So, good on him, man. Good on him.
Yeah, he's in stride with Juventus as a brand, and he knows how to sell himself, I guess, right?
Yeah, smart guy.
Yeah.
Ivan, your thoughts?
What can you say that Rocco hasn't said about Chiellini? An absolute legend. He's fierce on the field, but well respected off. Like he puts it all on the field, but off the field, he's so eloquent, so welcoming. I've never met him in person, but I know a lot of people have, and I believe Rocco has, if I'm correct, Rocco. And he's always ready to meet people and to embrace them, and just you can see he's a really nice person. I feel bad for him. I think he's actually done for the season, boys. I don't think he's coming back. I just think he's weathered, and he's older now. I think he's pretty much done. He may have a few minutes here and there to give one of our CBs a bit of reprieve in order to avoid putting in Rugani. I think we have to concede that he may not see another minute this season, possibly.
That's a hot take there, guys. I mean, it's tough. We'll see what happens down the line. I think there's a long way to go, depending on who gets, the injury bug has arrived. And speaking of that, obviously there's going to be some optimism with Dybala. Obviously he's been going into, kind of rehab it and been pushed for that Lyon game. But it's still a big question mark. Danilo didn't have any problems after that knock, and De Ligt beside his shoulder seems to be good. I mean, in terms of a separated shoulder, you're kind of in that state, where you're gonna have to operate on it, and that's just the bottom line. And it's probably gonna keep popping out, and it's probably gonna keep bugging him. So there's nothing really he can do about that until the off season. I mean, that could now create some problems into next year. Hopefully Demiral, can get into fitness, match fitness. But obviously another key, well, not a key piece, but De Sciglio's back with the group. And Chiellini, like we said, is going to take more time until then. Obviously, there was a little bit of controversy with FIFA. I don't know if you guys saw talking about Ronaldo and how many championships he's won, and they forgot to include Danilo. I mean, he's won pretty much the same places that Ronaldo's won. Obviously, Man City instead of Man U, and he's also picked up a Copa Libertadores as well. So one of the only players.
That's right.
So that's kind of special for him. Getting a little bit into transfers. Obviously, Fittigidi, Sarri's best friend, has come out and talked about Jorginho being a Scudetto gift, so to speak. And obviously, he was very impressed with Demiral and De Ligt. and quoted as saying is a 20-year-old robot with Ronaldo's attitude. So, pretty high praise. I mean, it's pretty obvious from what we've seen on the pitch. But, yeah, I hope. What do you think, guys, about Jorginho? Obviously, being a player that would fit into Sarri's system, knows the system, played with him.
I think that he'd be a good addition, to be honest. And I know that's not an easy and a very, very majority kind of opinion on that. A lot of people would contend that would have a lot to say about him. I've seen recently a very, very funny video on Twitter about that basically was a blooper video of all of his getting embarrassed in the midfield. And I think he just doesn't fit well at all with in the Chelsea system there under Lampard. But he's a Sarri man. He was an import from Napoli over to Chelsea in order to kind of integrate Sarrismo into that side. And he did the same thing with Valdifiori from Empoli to Napoli. He was an integrating man. He was a guy that kind of that he was an ingredient in the Sarri cake, let's say. And I think that Jorginho, even though he wouldn't be the best player ever that we got in the midfield, I think he's someone who, as a regista, sitting in front of the defense, would be a good man to rotate in and out and share time with Bentancur starting next season. So, if depending on if we get him for the right formula, meaning a Cuadrado-like loan with an option or obligation to buy, I think he would be a really good option. You really got to look at the formula most of the time, and if his salary isn't egregious, why not? I don't see any harm in it. I mean, of course, what we have to think about often is when we're talking about bringing a player on, we also have to think about who are we taking off? How is the rest of the midfield getting crowded out? And before that, who are we getting rid of, and can we get rid of them? Right? Is Khedira? They're likely going to dissolve his contract. Matuidi still has 1 year, right? 1 year left. So, yep. And there's others that need to be like, do we want to give Ramsey a second shot? Rabiot probably deserves one, has earned one now, based on the last month, right? Yep. He just redeemed himself. So, Artur is coming in, right? So that's it. If Jorginho comes, no Pogba, forget it, right? So it depends. At that point, Juve is going to go for big number 9. I have the feeling that's going to be the hunt. They're in the hunt for one of those. I don't know who it is at this point. I'm hearing names of good second stringers, to be honest, but this is all left to be seen.
Well, shit! You took over the whole transfer portion of today's show, Rocco. Beautiful, man.
I'm so sorry. I destroyed it. I killed it. I'm sorry. And that Ivan is astute because he's helping me on the transfer tracker that we put together on the BianconeriYYZ website, and he's always very careful, and he's got a good eye for some of the other transfers and other guys that we're tracking. So I'm sure he'll have a lot of good things to add in.
Well, going on the Jorginho, the only way I'm taking him is with that formula, Rocco, not with the requirement to buy, with an option. Reason being is we don't know how long stuff's going to be at Juventus.
Right.
We don't know, and I don't want to be stuck with a Khedira type situation. No offense to Jorginho. But he's getting older, and keeping that, bringing him longer than what we need him for. No, I would bring him in on a loan if that's possible, but not with an obligation to buy. No way, not a chance. I don't want to repeat. I think Juve does not have the same appetite for the mistakes of wiggly-eyed Joseph out there. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Marotta, because thanks to him, we're stuck with Khedira. Okay, so
Yeah, that is painful, but I think that made my day today at work. I mean, it was 30 degrees. I work outside. I'm sweating my ass off, and then I get a vibration on my phone, and I see
Oh.
looking to end the contract of Kadir, and I'm like,
Oh
yes,
my God!
thank
Yeah,
God.
It's
Finally.
Christmas in July. let me tell you.
Exactly.
What was worse? Who was worse, Daniel and Ivan? Was it getting rid of him or getting rid of Joseph? Is it Joseph Martinez? Remember
Oh
him?
yeah.
Oh my
God.
God! Malaca Martinez. What
Uh,
a
That guy was the
Malaca.
Teflon Don. That guy really was the Teflon Don because you could not take his ass out. He was somehow, you were hearing him getting recalled from teams that you didn't even. I mean, I know he went to Atletico Madrid at one point, but after that, you were just like, how is this guy still on our books?
Yeah.
What the hell is
so
wrong with this guy?
Him
so
and
I've
Del.
always said this about Kadira, and Rocco can attest to this. Kadira's IQ, football IQ, is actually quite high. It's the legs that can't do it anymore. But what happens is Kadir is a chameleon. He can actually be put in many different scenarios with different coaches because his IQ is so high. The problem is that his legs can't do it. But what happens with coaches like Sadi and Allegri is because this guy is so astute from a football standpoint that they're willing to sacrifice the legs because he actually executes their systems quite well. But the problem is he's
Yeah,
done after 40 minutes.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
or at
He's a
halftime in Cardiff.
Yeah, like he's done, right? But he's actually quite. Like again,
He
I
wasn't a
see
student
that.
in that game. He wasn't a student in that
No,
game.
no, he wasn't. But I think I saw someone right on, in the Twitter sphere this week that first 9 games with Kadir this year, we didn't lose. We won 8 and tied 1 with
Yep,
him in the team. Like
yep.
those are stats that they're irrefutable, right? Like God
Phenomenal.
bless him, he just can't take it anymore. He can't
Yeah.
do it.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. And the thing is, and what I've been saying the longest time is, you know yourself as a player. You know your body, and that's when he's got to work with the club to find another place for him
That's right.
to make that 6 million. That's the disrespect that I found. A guy that's just sitting there knows that he's not good enough, has been as injured as much as he's been, and everyone tries to bring up this Marquise argument that is just ridiculous. Um, but yeah, no, I
And he's
think
taking
thank
you for
God.
6 million, right? He's
Exactly.
taking you
Yeah,
for 6 million, right? And
Yeah.
you're
I
going
don't
like, what
fault
the
him
heck?
for it. I don't
Hmm?
fault him for it. I fault Marotta.
Yeah,
If
you know
someone
what
says,
though, man? If you love Juve, if you love the team, you would almost like
yeah,
approach him
well,
and say, "Listen, here's like, remember what Del Piero did?
Find me
You know, like
Qatar or wherever.
he just,
yeah,
he just goes, he just put the thing. He goes here. You tell me what you want to write on that number." And I think he took on the contract, and he took like a $1 million contract in the last year and maybe the last 2 years. And I think Buffon did the same right now. I don't think he's getting
Yeah.
paid like a huge load of cash. So, tip of the hat to these guys. They're like, listen, I could probably command double or triple that amount right now in a handful of teams. But they're like, I want to be here and I want to be home and I'll make less money and I'm okay with that. And I'll play a reduced role. Right. But Kadir is like, no, pay me.
Yes, exactly. And speaking of someone who hasn't played quite a bit, Douglas Costa obviously came out on Instagram and, Sai said sometimes an apology is not enough. Time will iron out things. Super happy that they won the third Scudetto, my second family. Then I'll do everything to recover and fight with you. I mean, you got to feel for the guy. The guy's been, a spark for most of the games that he's been on a good run. It was unfortunate how obviously it's come to, it seems like his season is done for sure. I think he was one of the guys, including Bernardeschi, that you have to get rid of on the wing because you have to bring Kulusevski from what he's been doing now. It's unreal, and I think you have to bring him in. I think you keep Cuadrado. and you find, obviously the fullback situation, you sort that out in the summer, because I don't want to see Cuadrado in the right back ever again. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you aware of the fact that we're recording this podcast? Because you just said you want to keep Cuadrado, but then I noticed you fixed that. You said no,
No.
as long as he doesn't play
Oh, yeah.
at right back.
As
Okay.
long as he's a winger, I've
Okay.
kept straight on this path. I think he offers quite a bit in the final third. I just think when he's got to go all the way down the pitch, it's, by the time you get to the 60th, 70th minute, he's done. And it doesn't matter if
These aren't up there. Like
well,
he's not
and
a
that as well,
right?
and that as
Cut him
well.
some, right? Yeah.
Oh no, I don't blame him. Like, obviously, this is on the club for having to force him to go into that role.
Oh.
I don't blame Cuadrado for that. I think, he needs to be played where he's suited, and a guy that has to then get moved up into the right wing role when Danilo gets subbed on or whatever, you're losing out on that spark, and that's something obviously that Douglas Costa adds in that. But I think again, if there's teams that are gonna want those guys, and I think there are, especially you look at England and other places, I think we can offload those guys, no problem.
Yeah.
We got.
You know,
Ivan, go ahead. Sorry.
no. It just, listen. I'm one of those guys that appreciate Cuadrado for what he's done in the sacrifice of playing right back. It was unfortunate what happened to Danilo, of course, during the game. With Costa, I think I think he was finding form, and he was when we came back from the COVID break and the stoppage in play. But I think all the games coming in quick and his tendency to get injured, he just he was played too much. And people saying that he should be starting, he should not be starting. He is a 60-minute and onward super sub, and that's when you'll get the most out of him, and that's when he won't get injured. The longer he goes through the game, the more the tendency there's more tendency of him getting injured. And even Sadi said, he goes, I was nervous when that one game where he played him for more than 60 minutes. He goes, I was nervous to play him. And when he made the triple change, I think he took him off. That famous triple change, he goes, I had to take him off because I was really worried about him. He's not that player. And, I think people have to realize that he is a super sub and should have been treated that way. And that's about it on for those two. But I gave the other day, I gave Cuadrado an 8 out of 10 for the season, because just for sacrifice and his ability to be, I guess, the jolly for Juve on that right side.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think though we need to recognize, and this kind of ties in a little bit about what we were talking earlier about Jorginho, is that we need to buy him a player or two. We really need, like, he's come in and he's like, here, this is what you got, and you got to make it work with players that have never played with him, for him, that have many of them have been quite calloused in learning and playing Allegri football, and now they got to play Sarri ball. So, I'm not, again, there's so many excuses that you can make, I think, for Sarri, who takes a lot of slack, and, it makes sense because he gets paid a big boatload of money and coaches one of the most exigent fan bases, a team of one of the most exigent fan bases. And he has, that's part of the job. But you know what? What if you buy him, even if you buy him a fullback or two that know Sarri ball, Jorginho, maybe, so we're talking Emerson Palmieri, Jorginho, and they start to play your football a little bit, and maybe that'll it'll be contagious, right, since that's a very popular word nowadays, right? And it can kind of be more catchy, and more players will start to be like, oh, that's what Sarri ball is all about. Boom, 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 right? And then off you go, right? We still haven't seen Sarri ball because he hasn't really had the time to imprint his game on Juventus. He had pneumonia. The team was away in Asia. Then COVID break. Coming back from the lockdown, not a single practice taking place. Zero. Zero. It's amazing that we even won the championship. It's remarkable.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously he's going to go down now as the oldest coach to win, obviously, a Scudetto. And as
First.
well the first. And he's going to be a guy who's been in this game for over 30 years. Obviously, he's never played over 20 different roles. He was a banker. It's quite remarkable as much as a lot of people have that distaste in their mouth for his tactics and, the way he even lines up the players some games. It's quite remarkable. You got to give the guy the credit, and like you said, it's been a crazy year as well. And obviously, just some formalities. Juve Roma final game is going to be on August 1st at the same times that we've been seeing them. We hope to. It's gonna be weird because the trophy's gonna be in the building. It's a home game. And there's going to be really a subdued kind of. I mean, I know we're going to be ecstatic to see that thing raised, but it's not going to be the same.
He's also another news item along with that August 1st match. I think the game will start off at 2:45 p.m. Eastern time, so It's about an hour earlier than the usual kickoffs that we've seen in the post lockdown. And the second thing is that the Juventus 2021, right, jersey will be released. Is that right?
Nice.
Yes.
Or not released. It'll be released, actually, I think, for sale. It'll be released for sale on July 30th. So that's in 2 days. That's an exclusive right there because of our connections with Torino. So look out for it at Juve Store online for those of you who are huge jersey enthusiasts. But they're going to actually wear it. Just as they had in the previous years in the last match of the 1920 season as they wrap that up. So, that should be, and I don't know, stripes finally.
Yep.
Again. Thank God.
Again.
What do you think of the What do you think of the numbers, guys? The gold numbers.
It's pretty good. The numbering, from what I understand, is going to be streamlined throughout Serie A. Is what I understand. Am I incorrect by saying that?
No, you're 100% correct. So there's going to be a Serie A font, and then there's also going to be, like they do in La Liga, like they do in France, like they do in obviously Premier League. They have two fonts, right? One's going to be for your Champions League, your Europe. Sometimes they even do it for cup games like EFL and stuff like that. But they're going to have two. The one that you've been seeing online without the black outline, I believe that's going to be your Champions League and, again, maybe Coppa Italia or whatever. And then, obviously, there is a gold. There has been a leaked gold number with a black outline that actually I think looks pretty good for being made by the Serie A, or at least whoever they got to do that. It's actually pretty remarkable to see. I mean, I think it's a pretty sharp number. So we got to wait to see that. But who's buying the jersey on the 31st anyways? Like, come on, guys. You got to wait till that squad's locked up. I've made so many mistakes. I've got burned so many times buying that jersey right when they released it. I'm never touching that ever again.
Yeah. Well, I think I got a signature once, not an autograph once, not of course a number, committing to a number, but I got an autograph by Rincon.
Okay,
Remember Rincon when he played for us? And like a month later he got released. Not released, we got sold to Torino. That was regrets.
Well, I think it's safe. I think it's safe to say that my next one is going to be number 4, and that's without a shadow of a doubt. That is without a shadow of a doubt. That's the next one for me.
Our son.
Our son. Yeah, I played keeper my whole life, and Buffon has been it for me. So I've pretty much kept with mostly Buffon jerseys in my my collection. On top of that, I have Buffon signed keeper mitts as well. So those things I hold dearly, but I rarely go players, and the only player I'm willing to do for now is De Ligt. That's it.
Not even a Dybala, really?
Nope.
I guess after the scare, maybe you kind of shown away from that.
I don't have a DP jersey. I have a Tacconi jersey. That's how old I am.
What?
I have a Taccone jersey.
You have a Taccone jersey? Oh
Yeah,
man, if I'm in Ottawa, make sure you put it
no.
in a safe.
So it's the Upim gray and
Oh,
black
nice.
jersey
Damn.
with number 1, and I am never bringing that out anywhere. It's signed, sealed, and not signed, but sealed in a hideaway place, and that's
Bro,
never.
hold on,
Never,
slow down, slow down,
yeah.
slow down. So let's walk that back for a second. If it
Uh-huh.
was black and gray, it was probably
Uh-huh.
Addistone written across the front.
Was it
Not-
Addistone or Upim?
If it was gray and black, otherwise there was a sexy one in the late 80s, early 90s.
No.
It was green and black, like a
No.
tiger print. Green and
No,
black.
that wasn't it. This
Whoop
is
him in
the
the front.
simple-
Man, guys, look it up. Go Google it right now.
There you go.
Sexy. Sexy. Him
Anyways.
holding up the Coppa UEFA trophy and the Coppa Italia trophy that year in 89-90, and Juve finished third. What a great season that was with Zoff.
So yeah,
But
so I'm not a field player. I'm not a field player jersey guy. The only one that I was ever close to was Marquisio, but that's Principino. But that's it. Nope, no one else.
There you go. There you go. And again, Rocco dropping the knowledge, man. Like unbelievable.
Gotta-
That's
yeah.
why we have you guys on. It's awesome to hear, what you guys know, the fine details, and obviously your stories. But kind of last piece of
like the
news.
war, right? War stories.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, everybody sees it differently. You have a memory of a special edition, or even those all white jerseys that they wore in preseason. A lot of people talk about you can't find those anywhere. I believe in the mid 2000s. Obviously, I believe it was for a charity match. But again, last piece of news, kind of a little bit of controversy, if you want to say. John Elkan, the grandson of Gianni Agnelli and the president of Exor, had a couple statements, obviously regarding the win and future win, hopefully. Juventus, it's a huge joy. Now we want the star, obviously 10th in a row. Ferrari right now is a pain, but we will come back to win soon. I think a pain is a little bit of an understatement there, especially when you're losing out to Racing Point. But anyways, that's a little bit of a side F1 shot. But anyways, he also went on to say, after the 5th Scudetto, Andrea told me that winning 10 Scudetti in a row was going to be more difficult than winning a Champions League. So I don't know to take this as, is he really downplaying the Champions League, or is this the standard? Is that really the right precedent to be setting? Maybe I'm reading into this wrong. What do you guys think?
I think that he's looking for. I think what he's telling us is that next year we're gonna win the Champions League with 3 games to go, which doesn't even make sense. And now we're gonna lose the league in the final game day.
Yeah, I don't know. Ivan, what do you think, bud?
I don't. So maybe is he setting us up for the failure for this year, saying it's maybe Champions League's not going to happen, like setting us up for failure. I don't know, or for setting expectations, but I don't know. I just feel that I don't agree that as much as 10 in a row is like spectacular. The stars have to align for that Champions League because of the quality of teams that you face. No offense to Serie A, but you don't always play top tier teams in gameplay during Serie A. But for the most part, in Champions League, you're playing top teams. You're playing teams probably the top 4 in each league. Okay, now you get some teams that those odd 2 or 3 teams that are gimmies, but for the most part, these are all quality teams.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Like I think that some of his words could be kind of veiled, right? Like I don't know. We don't know what he knows. For example, there's been a bit of a rumor where Gravina and De Laurentiis are both flirting with the idea of having a playoff format decide the Serie A championship, right? And which, I mean, I made the same face, Daniel. It's
what is that shit?
The traditionalist in me is like, okay, the league is the league, the playoffs are the playoffs. It's a different kind of thing, right? And the other thing is, would we even have the time for it, right?
Yeah.
And what kind of format, right? We don't have that kind of thing. What are you going to do? I mean, that might make sense in a 16-team league,
Right.
in a 16-team Serie A, and then you have your playoffs afterwards. There's plenty of time to play schedule that playoff run. But like 8 and 20 teams, 38 grueling weeks, week in, week out, and then you're going for it at the end and all this in the midst of a pandemic, of a wave 2 possible, wave 3. God knows what the heck's going to happen during that, whether there will be stoppage or not during that. No way. It just doesn't make sense unless they're talking about a reduced format whereby not every team plays each other home and away. But
Right.
I don't see it.
And
That won't work.
this playoff is a load of hogwash to me because they've tried so many different ways to dethrone, in my opinion, Juventus. And with that being said, I just think this is another attempt to say, let's try to level the playing field. But there's only one way to level the playing field. De Laurentiis doesn't like spending the money. Spend
Exactly.
the cash and stop your complaining and get the players you need in order to compete, because a lot of his fan base say the same thing.
Oh,
So,
exactly.
There's guys out there, they know he's he doesn't spend. He's one of those guys that is always in the positive with regards to their bookkeeping, but at the same time, you want to win, you got to have quality on the field, right?
Yeah.
And to me, they've tried VAR, they've tried this and that and all kinds of stuff to stop Juventus, and I think there's another ploy, another tactic, and I don't buy it.
Well, pretty soon they'll start wiretapping phones through Tim. Oh wait, that already happened. But no, Napoli fans kill me. They march to that tune of their president being the savior, and I think it's a crock of shit. The guy's a cheap bastard, and everybody else in the league knows it. I mean, spend some damn money, and you would have not choked in the hotel room. Give the guy his players. But anyways, obviously the next segment is Scudetto race. That is over, signed, sealed, delivered. I just want to get your thoughts. I've been having a lot of fans talk about their experience, how they what comes to mind when you think of obviously the season, obviously the 9th consecutive, and I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts, and then I'll read off someone who just had added theirs in as well. But yeah, guys, go ahead. The floor is yours. Whoever wants to start.
Well,
Go ahead, Ivan.
the season was a struggle. It's definitely one for the ages because of COVID. Rocco's a little bit more forgiving of Sarri than I am, to be honest. I'm not a Sarrista, someone who supports him. I just, his recent words were saying that, he knows he needs to learn how to adapt to his players, and maybe I'm stubborn that way. But a lot of struggles, a lot of injury. I want to know. I think they fired a lot of people from J Medical. I hope they fired the lot of them, because our players are just like dropping like flies. So I think that we don't have support internally from the staff, the preparation staff, in order to keep these guys playing. From a technical standpoint, I'm surprised of Rabiot, pleasantly surprised. Disappointed in Sandro, his performance over the year, and also surprised with Dybala. But happy that we won the Scudetto. It was suffered. So this one actually, for me, I enjoyed it more than last year, to be honest with you, because I think it was 5 games ahead of schedule we won last year, and there was a big gap. But this year there was a bit more of a race, and I'll take this one. I'm actually we sweated it out a bit, and maybe it's a little bit sweeter because of that.
Fair point.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure we would have won the Scudetto this year had there been no lockdown break. I think we would have been juggling Coppa Italia and Scudetto and Champions League at the same time. with a Lazio that was on a roll of a momentum, who was free of cups. And when at the restart, we were lucky because even though we had a bit of a spell there where we only made 5 points in 5 games, Lazio completely crumbled. And to be honest, we got great assists by Inter, who also had their several point drops, and Atalanta was marching to an incredible beat, and then just as they were getting closer and closer, they also dropped points against Sassuolo, and struggled against other teams like Bologna and Cagliari. So it's not. It seemed to be a bit of the Scudetto of the, as they call it in Milanese dialect, the Chapano, meaning that the person who doesn't get it, who just it's the game is don't get it, don't catch it, right? And it's almost like no one wanted it, kind of thing. And we gladly took it, and we got 9 trophies now in a row to take home. Besides the thoughts that I gave earlier on Saturday, which I won't repeat, this was the Scudetto in the year of Dybala's redemption, especially since he was on the chopping block for a long time last year. The absolute confirmation of De Ligt as a top-notch defender and world class, and the in-year redemption story of Rabiot, who basically had two different seasons. One that was abject and he was completely lost, and then the Rabiot that we all had hoped for has now come out to play and has been super performing in Serie A, and we're all really glad to have him. Just a little bit of an anecdote that he would be the third Frenchman to do this. Both Platini and Zidane were absolutely lost in the first 3 to 6 months of their Juventus stay. Everyone was waiting, for this talent to come out, and Zidane, of course, wasn't even meant to be a starter at any point. And then once he got it, once he understood it, he just flourished. I'm not saying that Rabiot is in the same sentence as Zidane or Platini by any means, but I think that timing of adaptation is key, and I really hope that now that he has adapted, that this is what we're going to see week in, week out.
Yeah, that's great. I really appreciate those thoughts. Obviously, you kind of mentioned it, Rocco, with obviously Dybala's redemption. But Ivan, whose Scudetto is this? I've mentioned on the previous podcast, I answered it. I think it's really the fans. I mean, we've been through this roller coaster of 2 years. And I think, just to get over the line and for us to be able to celebrate and not have to worry about someone else winning the Scudetto really allows us to, not have to really even think about who could be holding it. So for you, whose Scudetto was it?
From a player standpoint or from an organizational standpoint?
In general, Dybala's, Sarri's, was it Agnelli's?
I'm from this year.
In whatever sense. I know it's a great question. That's what it is.
It is a great question. It's a tough question. I think that this is a mixture of Sarri's and Paratici's, because there was a big, a huge risk on Paratici changing Juve's course with Allegri leaving last year. From what we understand, it wasn't Agnelli's decision to part ways with Allegri. So this is as much, I guess, Paratici's and Sarri's with I'm gonna mix Dybala in there, because all three of them were I guess in a bubble or being looked at, because last year Dybala was on his way out. Sarri wasn't really the coach that we wanted. Everybody wanted someone else, be it Pep or Pochettino. And Paratici stuck his neck out by going a different way, a different path.
Awesome. And then in terms of the MVPs, I'm guessing Rocco, you're going with Dybala. Is that the case, or Delict?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've said Delict before. I think he was. I think he's been absolutely rock solid. You cannot not mention him. But you know, the MVP, yeah, Dybala. And to be honest, I won't even mention Ronaldo because he is of another class, of another make, of another, like, he's, you know, absolutely superlative, scoring. You know, what is he up now? Is he over 42, 44 goals, I think, this year? I mean, that's all competitions.
Right.
Absolutely
Yep.
astounding. Great, great, great. You know, at 35 years old, I mean, taking him for granted is ridiculous. But you know, it's you know, he's worth the price tag. So good on him. And you know, the fact that Dybala was able to perform so well next to him, which was a doubt for such a long time, especially under Sarri. You know, I think we might have just sown the seeds of something really important here if, again, we're able to bring one or two players that know Sarrismo. You know, to me, Jorginho or an Emerson Palmieri or someone like that. If you said, okay, well, no Sarri, you have Allegri, you bring those players in, there's no added value. But with Sarri there, and what they could do to the group in terms of gameplay and their impact on gameplay, I think we would even take away some excuses from Sarri and not performing. So yeah, that's it.
Ivan.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. My MVP is gonna be easy. It's Matthias de Ligt, our boy, our son. Like,
Beautiful.
to me, I've said it before. Rocco's heard me. I'm like a broken record with him. The I guess the student became the teacher beside Bonucci, because it wasn't Bonucci dragging dragging Delict with him. It was the other way around, and he's just an absolute stud. He's 20 years old. He's 20 years old. Bonucci at that age was a disaster. Still is a bit, but you know.
Oh yeah, he's dragging ass.
Like, there's, you know, if we remember the mistakes he was making in front of Buffon, Bonucci, when he first was with Juventus, De Ligt is unlucky with his hands, with his arms.
Yeah.
Like, and Serie A's, like how they're whistling the handball. We've heard the zone commentators and other like it's ridiculous how many handballs we've called. The kid was unlucky, but don't tell me that he was absolutely all worldly this year, in my opinion. Incredible player.
Oh yeah, I have to agree.
Can you just walk back to the fall? I remember the numerous handballs that were called on him, and because of that, because of how many penalties he was causing, you know, someone else who was weak-minded, weak personality would have just crumbled, right?
Yep.
No matter how good you are as a player. And he overcame that. The handballs and penalties against kind of quieted down. And in fact, he was involved in quite a few penalties for, right? He was fouled on, I think, one or two penalties in the return. And he was dragged down in the box and off a corner. And so is this kind of like a year of De Ligt redemption in that way? Like how he struggled and he faced adversity that way? What do you think, Ivan? I know what your answer is going to be.
He's the alpha. He doesn't care.
He's the alpha. It's true. It's so true. It's so true. He's a stud. He's a stud, like you say.
He's just that is his demeanor. He is the alpha. It was proven last year with him and when he was with Ajax. It's proven with him with Juventus. It's just it's one of those things where he doesn't let it bother him because he knows his quality. He knows his worth. He's pure quality. And anybody who says otherwise is either jealous, you know, they and upset that Juve managed to land this absolute gem of a player, and he really is.
Like Van Basten, right?
Oh,
you hear him?
Absolute! Oh my God,
Barcelona.
Yeah, you know,
Barcelona fans.
Van Basten. I think there was. I don't know who it was. and I don't want to. It's one of the guys that we follow on Twitter. I think it's Tony, who says, "I'm just not going to answer
Malachi.
because of Malachi, because I have so much respect for Van Basten." And a lot of the guys say, "Just say it," and I say he's a complete idiot. He's a complete idiot for making that statement. Because right now, I'm sorry, La Liga is a two-horse race because Atleti's dropped off. And look at the Premier League. So don't give me like Serie A was the most exciting league this year because of how close it was.
Yep.
It was.
Yep.
And it's
And Van Basten, I don't know, man. I think Van Basten hit way too many balls with his head or something like that. Because I recall him making this is not the only boneheaded statement that he made, and really reductive kind of thing. I think he made alt-right, like far alt-right type statements in the past, or I'll actually just say it, like anti-Semitic type stuff. So it's I don't know what's going on with Marco Van Basten. Actually, one of my favorite number 9s in all time. And he never played for Juve, of course, but he's a superstar in Milan, and probably one of the best number 9s ever to play not only in Serie A but in the world.
Yeah, and if I'm going to tell anybody to watch any clips of him when he played, a ton with Milan, but just watch the 1988 European Cup. Just watch it, please. Anybody who's listening to this, if you're younger, way younger than me, and you have never seen a clip of the 1988 European Cup where the Dutch actually won it, and I believe it was against the Soviet Union in the final. Back then, it wasn't Russia. It was the Soviet Union, boys and girls, and that's how old I am.
SSR.
Yeah. That tournament was absolutely brilliant, and Van Basten was absolutely great in that tournament. So if you want to look at old clips, look at that.
That goal. Come on.
Yes.
You have to say the goal in the final, right? The goal in the final
yes.
was spectacular.
Yep.
Spectacular. Wow.
And now let's get into look a little bit ahead. Obviously, like we said, Champions League's coming up. But for the next 2 games, I mean, obviously, Rocco, these were questions directed at me. So thank you for obviously answering them on the show, and same for you, Ivan, as well. But how do we approach this? We were talking a little bit earlier about what the projected lineup is from Sky. But what do you guys want to see in the coming games? I kind of know what you're gonna say, but Ivan, if you want to go ahead first and take it.
Yeah, no, I'd rather, there's some rumors that De Ligt is starting. Sit him. He's still worn out. Sit him. I don't care if you want to play Rugani in center back. I don't care if you put Bernardeschi center back. Bring up some of the guys from the under 23 to get some minutes and some experience. But you sit De Ligt. You do not play him. If Ronaldo really wants to go after that scoring title, maybe. But I'd still want to sit him as well and just get some other guys some minutes. And I would also sit Sandro. I'm not sure if you guys noticed. He's absolutely gassed.
Yeah.
He's got nothing left in the tank. So if there's anyone that deserves a rest, it's Alexandro, because we need him to be at his best with Lyon and rested. So give him some time. Make some call-ups. Sit De Ligt. Just sit, even though the kid's 20. Just let him mend a bit. Let him heal, and play Higgy up top if you want with Cuadrado, and if Danilo's good to go, then you play him. If not, you rest him. I don't know what you do on the right side. If you want to, whatever the case, but sit those guys and the important guys. And like I said, I'd sit De Ligt and Sandro, and Dybala is going to sit because of his injury, and I probably. I'd probably call me crazy, but I know we're saying give Rabiot a little bit more time to show what he's worth, but maybe even save his legs, because he's been our best midfielder.
He's suspended.
Right. Yeah. So we're good.
Yeah.
Then we're good. Yeah.
He did it for us.
So my thing is, the following players should not even get on the plane: Ronaldo, Dybala, Douglas Costa, Bernardeschi, Cuadrado, Alexandro, and De Ligt. Leave them at home. These last 2 days, like yesterday maybe and today, should have been completely off. Yeah. Just stay at home, do whatever you got to do, drive to the beach with the family, whatever, enjoy
TikTok.
yourselves. And then yeah, and then spend like the next 3 or 4 days to do like specific actual training, and like all individualized stuff, right? Then Roma they can maybe use as an opportunity to fine tune stuff. Opportunity to start for starts. First off, I know I'm kind of Machiavellian in this way, but Bentancur and Danilo are both one yellow card away from getting suspended. Perfect opportunity for card cleaning. You have 2 games left, put them on, grab them a yellow, boom, suspended against Roma. Perfect. So both those guys should feature at some point. Ramsey needs more playing time. Rugani should get 180 minutes uninterrupted from now until the final whistle. I don't care how we play or how many goals we're letting in or how bad it is. The same with Pinsoglio. Maybe, I don't know, I'm hearing stuff about Deschilio maybe having an opportunity to get a little bit of playing time, get a little bit of minutes into Demiral and Chiellini's legs if you can, if it's safe. And then just the rest, just play the kids, man. I want to see the kids. I mean, this Muratore is already Atalanta and is already an Atalanta player. I want to see him at Mezzala. Olivieri up top, maybe subbing out Higuain, and Wesley Gasolina on the left back. It sounds like a crazy name. Anyway, I think he's a Primavera player of ours. We hear good things about him. So, give me some Gasolina. Right, Ivan?
Yeah, Ivan.
Yes. Yeah, no. Some gasolina. There you go. You guys got it from me. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No. I'm actually going to agree with the Demiral thing. If we can get him some minutes, then let's do that. Let's get him some gameplay. And like you said, go to the end with the Rugani. Give him every minute.
Every minute.
Exactly. Yeah, I know it's pretty simple, and that's keys to the match and even for the Roma match. Stay healthy. Give our players the necessary runouts, like you said, even if it's 45 minutes. You want to let them stay in that match fit mindset, right? You don't want to completely shut the door. But and then give guys who haven't played. Allegri was famous for like benching everybody and anybody that he didn't trust. So, like you said, I think perfect. Give Rugani the chance that the play out, because he's probably, if the right deal again happens at the end of the season, he could be on his way out. And the result, who cares? Like at the end of the day, it'd be nice to beat Roma, but really, it doesn't matter. I mean, unfortunately, Pellegrini's going to be out for Cagliari, which would have been nice to see how he kind of fares against us. And obviously, they'll have Nangolan and Gigarini out. But guys, it's pretty simple in that sense for these next coming games. But so Ronaldo breaking Higuain's record, are we saying a no to that? Just simply?
Not happening.
I called it. Not happening.
I called it 2 games ago, 2 or 3 games ago. I called it, and I said he's going to miss. He's not going to play all. I think it was 4 remaining games. He's not going to play all 4 of them, and he's not going to score the 6 goals. He's not breaking anything. He's not even going to equal Lewandowski, and he's 3 goals away. So
yeah. I think that penalty miss at the end of the penalty miss at the end of the game was kind of the ceiling of that. So he needs the rest. He's played too many games, in my opinion. Anyways, it's quite ridiculous how long we've had to keep him on the field. But that's just me. Ivan, you're gonna drop some knowledge.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's. I was hoping he would catch up to, and he did at one point catch up to Ciro, but Ciro gets all those penalties in every single game. So they complain about Juve getting all the penalties, and we see Lazio drop how many in that game? Was it 3 or 2 or whatever it was? But sorry guys, I got the boys in the background here, and they're
no worries.
They're laughing their heads off. So with that. He doesn't have a chance. It's just too much, and you got to rest him. He's tired. You can see he's tired. You can see he's actually ailing, in my opinion. I've been watching him, and his pace right now, considering the pace before the stoppage, before COVID happened, is actually a bit off. he's actually not going into balls or running onto balls at full tilt. The only thing that I saw him go full tilt on was that breakaway with him and Dybala, right? Yeah, that breakaway with him. Yeah, that's right. No, that breakaway with him and Dybala when he scored, and he was going full tilt. Other than that, I can see he's probably like 75%. Either he's doing that on purpose for reserve, and he's been told to play like that. But I doubt a player of that ilk would actually do that in his in the way he's built. Right, he's built to go full tilt regardless. Right, but you know that also was a tactic of Zidane a few years ago, where he would bring in Ronaldo was injured, he would bring him in at certain points in order to preserve Ronaldo's fitness. So you know, maybe revisiting that with him and say, hey bud, it's great that you want to go after this personal achievement. It's really out of reach. We need you to sit down and not actually jump on the plane. Enjoy your beautiful concubine, if I can use that term, and your family, and hop onto the beautiful yacht that you were on and people were taking photos of, or hop into one of those 10 beautiful cars that you have, and then go from there, right? Like that's what I would say to him, and just relax.
Well, Ivan, he is aging. I mean, if it wasn't to get that tap in, I mean, I don't think he would have ran that fast. And if you look at I mean, he's getting older. It is what it is. He's got to relax. Especially with the the limited pressing he does as it is. The old man's legs are going from under him. So.
Hey, he's still one of the fastest. I think he was fourth fastest in the league this year. They clocked him at something like 32 or 34 kilometers per hour. So he's quick.
Well, then every Serie A defender must be really damn quick, because they sure can all get to the ball before he does.
Let's face it. There's a lot of strikers on this planet that don't want to play Serie A for the sake of their ankles. So let's give some of these Serie A defenders their due, because they're not the same in any of the other leagues. Our Serie A is pretty tough on any striker, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Exactly. And again, I'm just going to read off, like I said, Turin Tactician on Twitter. Again, echoing the same, sentiments. Any accomplishment related to Serie A makes him feel good. Obviously, we need fullbacks, like we said, another midfielder and a number 9. Ours are not good in defending, and even worse in crossing. He can barely make a proper run now. And Ronaldo would have had 40 goals without missing so many headers. And I mean, it's been volume for him, really. I mean, the amount of tap-ins and even easy strikes that he would score, I think in the past, it's been, if you looked at how many chances he's had, I can guarantee you, it's up there with the most in the league, and not because of, the star player he is, but because of how many chances he's actually not capitalized during the last month, I would say. But did you get a look at that? Obviously, talking about the Scudetto, the amount of points over the last, I believe, 9 seasons. I think we're at like 810, and there's, I believe, a 79 game difference between, I believe it would be Napoli or even Merda.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's
is it 79 games or 79 point difference? No,
from what I read, it's 79 games from Merda.
So it's 79 times 3.
3.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're like 3 seasons over the Milaneses, they said. So we got 3 seasons in separation of points.
Okay.
I think I read somewhere, which is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think it just caps off, like I said, the 9 years. That's kind of your statement there, and in that is just how over the top we've been, and how mediocre really everyone else has been. I mean, there's been attempts, but really.
Yeah, but we steal though, right? Like we steal and we win
exactly.
and the penalties.
Well, half of those are from VAR, right? So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah. If there was any year for anybody to take it away from us, it was this year.
Exactly.
It was this year, and
we should get more solid next year. You're right. We should solidify.
Yeah, and then it's game over. 10 in the bag. Hopefully they'll do hashtag champions with the 10 in the that's my running hashtag for the year. Guys, stronger.
I'm sure
What are your
they'll say
thoughts?
something.
Oh my god.
Go ahead, guys.
Oh my
Go ahead.
god. I think I was sort of alluding to this at the beginning. We were chatting a bit before we started the show. Last year, I was at the actual game that Juve clinched the Scudetto in Turin with my brother and best friend, and it was a Fiorentina game, and we had won 2-1. We were actually outplayed in that game pretty badly, but we ended up winning. And after that game, as soon as we're coming out, and we were lucky enough to be in the Legends Club Lounge, and came out the front, and people were already starting to prep to put the 37 on the front on the Scudetto, but they're selling the wonderful shirt. And I looked at it, and my brother's one of those guys he's got to have. God bless him. He loves this stuff. He buys a ton of the jerseys and all this stuff, and he went after him. Like, I don't want any part of that. Like, to me, it's not wonderful. It should have been something like greatness with the number 8 within the word greatness, something like that. And I'm like, wonderful? Come on. Like legend and what's the one? And five and history? No. Legend and history, we're okay with. I'm okay with that.
7 should have been Setto Bello. I'm sorry. That's just mine.
Setto Bello.
Yeah.
The amount of times you play Sculpt.
Right?
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Myth.
No.
Remember that?
I don't know anyone who's used the 7 as a T in my life, to be honest, as one of those kind of number hashtags. But unbelievable, guys. Wonderful. Yeah, like I said, I buy pretty much everything, so I have that same shirt you're talking about. So no shame to you.
But Cloud9, Cloud9, would that be more?
Oh yeah,
Cloud9.
There's so many, my friend. Rain, Magnificent. What was another one that someone told me? Anyways, it slips my mind. But yeah, there's tons. Like there's literally, you could have got any Juventino could have come up with a better name than.
They could have used like COVID-19. It would have been better. It would have made more sense.
It's
longer.
Oh my
God. Part of what I do from a I guess career standpoint is a little bit more creative. So I'm on LinkedIn, and actually I'm connected with a few people from Juventus Spa and people that work there. And, I'm getting LinkedIn messages or posts saying, wonderful and this and that. And I had to post something to them and go, congratulations, huge Juventus fan, and, all the best to you. But I really think you need to speak to your creative and just help them out with making sense, because you're using English words. I understand why you're doing that for the reach, but they don't make sense.
Right.
And I think I got 150 likes to that LinkedIn post, and a lot of marketing professionals and creative professionals liking that post because it's the truth. I understand you want to use an English word for the connection with the English base and the English language, but if it doesn't make sense, you're losing the whole meaning behind it. And it didn't catch, and I was hoping for something better this year, but that didn't happen.
Now we can assume that next year is just going to be just as cringy, and again, some English word. Yeah, I mean, it's an Italian club. When a lot of people talk about the stripping away of the culture and the passion of this club, these are some of the things we point to, and it's like, really, if someone's invested enough to follow Juventus, I think they can invest enough time to look up the Italian word that they're trying to use in their hashtag, if that's the case, right? So, I mean, it's unbelievable. But again, let's quickly kind of rifle off what's going to be happening. Obviously, tomorrow in the game. Obviously, we're going to be playing Cagliari in the Sardinia Arena. Obviously, 9:45, 1:45 my time, 12:45 Pacific, 3:45 on the East for you guys. Pretty common in the sense that we've both kind of had a weird path in the last 5 games. Really, for Cagliari, it's been atrocious. 2 draws, 3 losses, and it seemed like they were coming in on a high into the first couple games they'd played, and even before the restart, they're trending towards the up, and I actually had them higher than where they currently are in the preview that we did of the whole kind of restart. But that's not the case. Obviously, Nangolan and Chigarini Pellegrini, like I said, are out. And their Spanish midfielder Hernandez is also suspended, so we won't get to see him play. Obviously, for us, Dybala is going to be out. And then it kind of is if you want to call it, game time decision for us about who's going to be playing. Sky has had a kind of a weird, formation that has been dropped. Like I said, with Delict, obviously Rugani, Cuadrado, Sandro, Ramsey, Bentancur, Matuidi, Bernardeschi, Higuain, and Ronaldo. Again, I think you can't really look at that, especially with what we have ahead of us. And even when they've had lots of lineups dropping Dybala, obviously no one knew that he had that knock for Higuain to start. Stuff like that, we don't know. And again, we don't know who's 100% fit. We don't know where Demiral's at. We don't know where Chiellini's at, even Discidio. So look for something completely different to what I just said tomorrow. I wouldn't doubt it. Obviously, Cagliari is going to be playing in the 3-5-2. Cragno in goal, Pisacane, Cepatelli, and Walukovic as the 3 center backs. Mattiello, obviously former Juve product. Ionitsa, Ladinetti, Rogan, Lico Giannis, Greek left midfielder, and obviously João Pedro, who's been their top scorer with 18 goals, and Giovanni Simeone as well. One of talented players that could cause problems. Again, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen tomorrow. I think it's probably going to be a 2-2 draw. That's just my prediction. I think we're going to get goals from people that we don't even we won't think that we wouldn't have expected to score. So, I mean, don't be surprised if Bernardeschi does start. He's probably going to score like a hat trick, and now he's going to be on fire, and everyone's going to want to keep him again. So, obviously, that's that. Just some other things. We've pretty much dominated them in the last 4 games we've played. I really hope Ronaldo doesn't play. I think it's time to, really tell him if we got to go up to Agnelli and say tap him on the shoulder, make sure he doesn't play these games because we cannot risk the injuries. Just a few words on the Champions League. What are you expecting? I'm assuming you guys are going to say to win, but just a raw take. I think Lyon getting Depay back is going to be interesting. Who knows what we're going to get out of them? It could be completely awful, or they just have the one match and they're in the lead, obviously with the 1-0 advantage. What do you guys think of that? And then further on, obviously the likes of Man City, Real Madrid, Bayern are all in the wave that could be going to the final.
I think we're going to be in tough against Lyon. I think Lyon's been playing. They really haven't played many official matches or any official matches. They will have played one, I believe, against PSG in a few days. But they've done a lot of warm-up matches. No matter how many warm-up matches you're playing, it's never the same as one that's for official competition. But for some reason, I just see us struggle against them. I don't see an easy win. I see maybe a last-minute kind of win where we might squeak by with a 2-0 or 1-0 and then go on to OT, or just even worse, even worse than that. I think that after that, our run will probably end against Manchester City. By and large, we are physically unfit. Our defensive phase is very questionable, and our mentality has been weak. So unless we really work on physical fitness to bring that up, that's probably the biggest and best thing we can do. Mentality might come with that, maybe with a bit of some positivity coming off the win from the Scudetto, maybe getting Dybala back. Who knows? I just see us as being not strong enough for this kind of phase. A lot of it will depend, of course, on our adversaries and how fit they are. Right. I don't know exactly what's going on with Manchester City, but they've had quite a few games off. to get their fitness back up there and to fine tune a lot of things. So I'm assuming, of course, City defeats Real Madrid. So we'll see.
And there's a couple COVID tests, I believe. I believe
Is that
Pavard.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, I believe Pavard and who is it from City? Or was it even City? I know there's a player that on a big team that recently just tested and is going to be out for the near future.
I think a Real Madrid. Was it a Real Madrid player?
Yes, it was exactly. It was what's his?
Or no?
No,
I
but
did
anyway,
not know this.
yeah, it was just recently noted today.
Okay.
What's his name? Mamma mia. Oh, I hate when it's the tip of your tongue. But anyways, not necessarily important because they'll probably get knocked. Well, hopefully they get knocked out. And I have positivity with when it comes to facing Man City. I think the English, they're chokers, man. That's in there. As Chiellini said, it's in the history. Okay, they choke at the.
That's the story of Tottenham. That's the story.
Well, I mean, even you look at City. I mean, they lost to, obviously without some key players, but they lose to a team that they should beat in Tottenham to go to the I believe it was the semifinal they would have been in. But yeah, it's just I don't have faith in that team at all. So I would actually welcome playing them in the next round. Bayern, I mean, the layoff, is that going to be something that maybe affects them now because they're going to be probably a month without playing an actual game. So who knows? It could be the perfect storm. Ivan, what are your thoughts?
Well, the gentleman that tested positive is Mariano Diaz. I just looked it up.
There you go. Beautiful.
Just to give you guys that information, I actually think I'm going to agree with Rocco that we'll be in tough with Lyon. It's just because of the situation with our team and injuries. And then Memphis Depay, however you want to call him, is back, and hopefully, doesn't have great match fitness because he's just recently come back. The intensity of the difference between a regular match and a friendly is the intensity, and you just can't replicate that in a friendly match. I don't care what anybody says. Being someone who's actually played the game and not professional, but when you're doing a friendly match with a club side and then it's a league game, it's completely different, or a competition. With regards to if we go past, so I think we've mentioned this before with Rocco. This is now to collect as much money as possible from the CL Champions League money bucket, as much as we can.
The money if we can't win the cup.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
win the money if we can't win the cup.
but there is an intangible here that I want to mention. We get past Lyon, we're in Portugal.
Yep. I thought you were going to say Court of Arbitration of Sport.
Yeah. No, we're in Portugal. And that, gentleman, is enough for someone, a number 7 who's on our team, to just dig deeper and just rise to the occasion because he's in familiar territory. And if he's playing in that Sporting stadium where he actually, grew up in or grew in that area, then, that's an intangible.
Another level.
That's another level. And who knows? Maybe that'll boost him, and he's got leadership. A lot of people don't think he does. I think he does, and a lot of players have mentioned it many times. And I think that he can gear them up for the occasion. And that's what they bought him for. They bought him for the right. They bought him for the image, no doubt, and the brand, the Ronaldo brand. But they also brought him for that killer instinct, and he has it. He showed it last year.
Yep.
So rest him, get him for that killer instinct for those games that matter. And the games that matter is Lyon, and possibly after that, and hopefully after that.
Yeah, and that kind of sums the first part of a question from Daniel Jafari. Thanks, Daniel. Was it really worth risking Dybala, CR7, or Pjanic when we have to face Lyon? And I think it's stupidity to, even you look at the Chiellini incident, it's like, why was that even a necessity at the time? Throw Rugani on, for what the result of that game was. you should have just put Rugani from the start, anyways. And then he also asked, why is it that people had the same feeling as Sarri in completely losing faith in Juve as a team? To see out a team who had nothing to play for and was in the danger of relegation until a month ago. I mean, I'm guessing he's talking about not winning the title until a month ago. Yeah, what are your thoughts? I think there's also been a discussion. I don't know if you heard Al's recent podcast. They were talking about a lot of people giving, Sarri isn't necessarily hated by the team, and look at them celebrate. With all the videos that were coming out, the Szczesny cigarette moment, the champagne moments in the dressing room. But kind of your thoughts on that? Do you think? And I guess it's kind of maybe the point he's trying to make is the losing the dressing room. Do you think that's still a factor, or have you changed your opinion on that? Obviously, seeing the scenes that we've seen in the past couple of days.
I honestly don't think that he ever really lost the change room. He's not a very lovable, lovey-dovey kind of guy, obviously, because of his past and because of his soccer faith. He's a professional, and he kind of keeps it at that. And the players are professionals too. Do they absolutely love playing for him and will go to all lengths to do it and just out of love? No. But they'll go in and I think they've done their best to try to absorb his teachings and his gameplay and adapt it rather to their own best abilities. So I don't think that there's a huge kind of relationship there. One thing has to be said though is from a sporting standpoint and also life standpoint, winning and success together has a binding effect. Yes. So let's see what this does to Juventus as they move forward in games that matter, i.e. August 7th and on.
Yeah, but Szczesny saying, bringing him the cigarette and them dancing in the dressing room, like they just won the Serie A title. So regardless of any tension, right? They're going to be happy.
Right.
It's not Zlatan and Leonardo. Even that's I remember that when Zlatan went after Leonardo in the change room. But this is not that situation. They're all happy. They just won. They're good. So none of those tensions are gonna come through that one little speck in time of the Juventus' entire season. It's also it should be noted that Buffon played a huge part in the bridge between the players and Sarri. There's a reason why Gigi is on this team still. Not only he still has the ability, but I think the translation or the communication is, I guess, softened with his presence there, and that's been noted as well from a few pundits that his impact or his assistance with to Sarri with the team is quite huge, and it shouldn't be understated. Gigi's quite the fundamental figure still for that dressing room and for Sarri.
Yeah, and thankfully we were able to bring him back. I mean, I still can't believe we got rid of him for a year when I guarantee you he would have easily resigned he would have been resigned to sitting on the bench. But that's the past. But let's talk about obviously a little bit of nostalgia. We like to bring it back a little bit. Obviously, we heard the Rocco stories on the last podcast, and again, incredible moments as always. Some fun times, some not so fun. But Ivan, you've had a great anecdote already in the show that would have been enough. But maybe even if you want to do a Scudetto most memorable moment with Juventus, maybe a personal time you've gone to a game, or obviously you were there when they clinched it with the wonderful. But is there anything else you got up your sleeve? Some funny stories? Anything? We'd like to hear it all here. And I know I know you're gonna have a lot, but
a funny story. I'll drop it in with my household. Okay, so my mom was a Juventina. My dad got rest his soul passed a few years back, but he was an Interista. So you can imagine in my household on Sundays when the Derby d'Italia was on TV and on the box, how things would end up being. So, and I can tell you that my mom usually had the upper hand, and she did not hold back any punches. She was just absolutely ruthless. So, she let him hear it. He didn't like it. And most of us, I have a twin. He's a Juve fan. I have a younger sister who's a Juve fan, and I have my youngest brother who was one but felt bad for my dad and just turned on us and became an Interista with my dad. And I said, regardless, you made the wrong mistake, buddy. But I guess that's a little something personal from me growing up and watching Juve and experiencing Juve, is that it was always quite fun when the Derby d'Italia was on the telly and on TV, and just it was fun times. It definitely brings me back, and but yeah, it's that's something I can bring to the table and just mention to everybody. But and then from a Scudetto standpoint,
Well, just before you get into that, I just want to ask just one question about that story. Your brother his name isn't Dale McJohnny, is it?
no. Yeah. So
I just wanted to make sure.
a shout out to Mino Coppola, who's out there and actually called out Dale a few times, and I'm just in tears whenever I see that. So Dale, if you hear this, buddy, come out and talk to us. Come on, we won't bite. I promise. I promise.
Yeah.
But
Anyways. Back to the Scudetto moment, my friend. But yeah, no, that's funny.
Yeah, Scudetto moment. People always come up with it, but really, I remember watching that game in 2002, May 5th, Udinese, and that is unreal. That is like the most unreal moment, next to the Champions League final, but the most unreal moment in my Juventus fandom to have experienced. The ups and downs throughout that whole game, while Inter was up and then down, and Juve was up to nothing, and then that was way before social media and the immediate knowledge of what the score was. So you're on, you don't know. It's suspense. For those of you who are young, you young people out there, the suspense was like ridiculous. You don't have it readily available to you. The experience of not knowing and then knowing, and what that day was absolutely surreal. So it's the lack of technology at that point, and that day was extraordinary.
Yeah,
a lot of tweets would have aged really badly.
Yes,
I was just about to say, I was like, the scenes, if there was actually social media back then, I think it would have been on another level. But
yes,
I mean, take it even farther. I mean, as much as we give it to them now, I mean, that's on another level if you can do that live. And I'm sure a lot of Merdaristi thought that they were going to be able to do that to us. At this one, there's a little bit of a couple talks about, they're going to do a reverse Cinque Maggio on us this year. But yeah, no, that's not happening. So you guys can keep trying.
Our name's not Merda.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. But yeah, apparently there was someone pretty well known in the community put out a pretty interesting tweet. I think his name's Rocco Fasano. He was talking about these fans that like to wear black and blue.
Yeah, right. So what happened? What happened is that there's two things, right? So Interisti in Italy are known for and always made fun of by especially Juventini for winning the Scudetto, on the beach, as they say, when everyone's still the league hasn't started, and pundits are talking about what's going to happen in the next season and who's going to win it. And Interisti always win the summer Scudetto. So my tweet was, I just called an Interista to tell me what's the proper way to celebrate a Scudetto won in the summer. because we actually won one that's real this time. So, and I can't tell you the amount of laughter, support, people saying this tweet is underrated. I got a little bit of airtime. I don't know. I think it went up to maybe 30,000, reached 30,000 or something like that. And a lot of folks actually were understood that as me making a statement about the 2005-6 Scudetto that was awarded to Inter again in the summer. So, that said, it fit as well. So they took it one way, I meant it in the other, but it applies in both cases. So that was the odd flash of brilliance for me. It doesn't happen often, so it's like Haley's comment. So.
Yeah, well, it was a great time for me to use my Allegri gifts on Twitter, because those things are gold for me. So I was able to retweet that with one Allegri gif and respond or reply with another, which, if there's anything that Allegri left us with, is the most amazing gifts to use with any situation. So it was a moment for me to flex my gif using abilities on Twitter. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, I'm just looking at my phone. Breaking news: Milano is just flooded with all of the Inter fans' tears off of Rocco's tweet there. So hopefully they can clean that up, and maybe next year they can think about winning more cardboard Scudetti. But go ahead.
Do they have enough? Do they have enough Maylocks over there too?
Yeah.
Sorry.
They're ordering bulk, man. You want to save money, buy Maylocks off of Interista. They buy in bulk.
We got
anyways,
there for that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But anyways, guys, it's been a blast having you guys on. Obviously I'm going to give you some time, plug the club, plug our official fan club. Let's get the reach out there. Obviously, like you told us before, Rocco, you're trying to bring this community, obviously, as big as we can. But yeah, just drop some
Absolutely.
plugs.
Yeah, no. Thank you very much, man. We are BianconeriYYZ, as we say in Canada, YYZ and YYZ almost everywhere else in the world. Hit me up, let me know where else they say Z instead of Z. We've recently been, due to the pandemic, been limited in terms of our in-person meetups. We've been focusing on virtual meetups where we give people, our own community, the opportunity to share their ideas and giving them voice. Daniel's been great in joining us for one of those, and we've had quite the illustrious lineup that other YouTubers, but also people that they're just regular members at large, either of our page or actual paying members. And speaking of membership, our membership drive is going to officially open soon, but you can already sign up for 2021. It's $49 for new fans, Canadian, and $35 for renewals. And we're always looking to expand and grow. And you can find out all the benefits of becoming a member. So why you should become a member is they're all listed at BianconeriYYZ.com/membership. So go check it out. There's a form at the top, I believe, and then there's a list of benefits that scroll towards the bottom. So we're looking forward for this pandemic to end, so we can all get together and have a proper pint and maybe some good food at one of the venues that we usually choose, which are only top-notch, high class type stuff with great state-of-the-art TVs and HD and all that jazz. So we're looking to keep on trucking along. Lots of good stuff on our membership, on our website. Besides what I already mentioned, there's a tracker, a Mercato tracker that Ivan and I curate very closely, as well as postings of the videos that we've been putting together. So check it out. Thank you for giving us the airtime, Daniel. We appreciate it.
Yes,
it's my
thank you
pleasure.
very much.
And actually, I forgot to do one last thing. So we what we like to do on the show. Obviously, it's kind of a new piece. Obviously, your favorite Juventus player. Obviously, we're on podcast number 27, so it's going to get awkward. But who's your favorite number 27? And I think you guys are well versed enough. I can give you some names if you want, but who is your favorite number? Obviously, number 27, Juventini, of obviously no one currently, but anyone in the past.
Yeah. Didn't Krasic wear 27?
You got it.
Yeah.
Krasic, Quagliarella, Sturaro,
Sturaro, that's right. I was going to say Sturaro. That would have been mine.
Ekdal,
Yes. Sturaro would
Zebina.
have been mine. Yeah.
Zebina. Oh my
Zebina,
God.
wow.
Zebina.
Zalaglieta for 1 year.
Oh, Zalaglieta.
Panteron.
Right.
There you go. That's my choice. El Panteron. Zebina scoring the away goal in Barcelona that gave us the is it in Barcelona?
Zalaglieta.
Yeah, I think
It was
winning
Zalaglieta.
Zalaglieta.
Yeah.
Zalaglieta. Did you say Zalaglieta? Yes.
He did say
Okay.
that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
97, 98.
He'd be it. And that the goal that gave us, I think it was a 2-1, the 2-1 go-ahead goal in Barcelona in the I want to say, was it the semi? It was a semi-final, and then we played Real. Sorry, that was a quarterfinal. And then we went on to Real Madrid in the semi in 02-03. So yeah, it was fantastic. It was 2003. I was studying, I was doing my master's in Kingston, Ontario, in Queen's University.
I played hooky from work that day and had to go to this Spanish bar near Allen Road in Eglinton in Toronto for you Toronto folks, and you had to pay $15 to get into this social club in order to watch the game. It was the closest one to work, and it was all Barca fans, and me and my brother in Juventus jerseys with all these Barca fans around us. So it was quite intimidating. But
we ended up overtime.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. It was Bianconeri. Wasn't it Bianconeri that crossed it into Zalaglieta?
I think you're right.
Yeah. So I remember that vividly. And we definitely, after that game was over, we took off. We did not want to be around a bunch of angry Barca fans. So we just took off.
Yeah, it's funny. Cash actually 2 episodes ago, he actually brought up this exact same moment because Zalaglieta was obviously 25 for the majority of his career. So that was honestly his story as well. But I mean, Milos Krasic for me was someone I thought that was going to do wonders at Juve. Obviously, that was a different story. But so I do have a Krasic jersey. But you got to pick Sturaro. I mean, one of the Grinta kings, him and Paduin and a few others. You got to go with Sturaro. Basically his was it his left foot or right foot saved us from going to the final against Real Madrid in 14-15. So I'm gonna go with him. And
me too. Me too.
We go.
That's his biggest input. That's his biggest input with Juve ever. Do you remember the step over? We lost the shoe and the ball.
Exactly.
That one.
That GIF will play forever and ever. But anyways, guys, it was a blast. I appreciate you guys coming on. Like I said, you guys are so knowledgeable. You're always dropping these different stories and moments in Juve's history, and that's really what I strive to bring to the fans. And guys, no, it's been fun. I've had a laugh, and hopefully to have you guys on again. Obviously, guys, I'm going to drop the link for BianconeriYYZ in the description. So if you guys want to obviously participate in the membership drive, you're more than welcome to, and I encourage you to, because hopefully we can get back to the stadium, and that's one way of getting tickets. I would say the best way of getting tickets. And obviously follow the viewing party, follow their channel on YouTube. I'll also have that linked. I was obviously on one. I don't know why I don't know what app you guys use. You screwed up my camera, so I'm gonna give you shit at this moment. I don't know what happened with that.
Ivan's fault.
Yeah, Ivan, what is up with that, man? The next podcast I did, my whole Skype was like destroyed. What kind of Soviet technology were you using over there for these meetings?
Sorry. I apologize.
Go to meeting, man. What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, guys, obviously at Juventinita DAL on Twitter and Instagram. That's where you can catch all the latest. And now we're in a partnership with La Vita Juve, and you're gonna see some great edits of the different players. Obviously, we have some legends that are gonna be coming up, and I'm gonna be kind of releasing a couple teasers in the next few days. Obviously, up until the end of the season. And you guys can enjoy that. Obviously, drop him a follow because he's done an incredible job. And yeah, more to come with that. And then again, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, and newly minted Google Podcasts. Please let me know if you want to hear this on anywhere else. We'll make it happen on any other platform that is. And yeah, guys, like I said, stay tuned to Twitter. That's where the links are going to be first, if not your thread or your feed, so to speak. And yeah, as always, fino alla fine, forza Juventus. Thanks for watching, guys. Ciao.
Ciao.